can't tell if we're live or not. Something happened.
To me, it says it's live for 17
Okay.
minutes.
Well, I don't know what happened to our 30-second count, and like I hit the button and then it was gone. Okay. Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for being patient with us, as I think there's probably a little bit of a lag right now, and I thought I was doing something else. This is very strange. So hopefully this stream will continue to go on. But welcome, welcome. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm here with Astro Insights Live with Rose Tarot Astrology here on YouTube. And below me is my sweet wife, astrologer, tarot card reader, massage therapist extraordinaire, and Aries sun, Mel Rose. Good morning, Mel Rose.
Hi, baby. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Astro Insights.
Yes. Gosh, I really hope that we are streaming. I'm not. Everything looks different to me right now, so maybe I'm having a Mercury moment.
You don't have an orange live button there? I've got a thing that's orange that says live, and then it says a minute 30.
Yeah, me too. But it's just okay. Well, anyway, I'm assuming that we're live, and I wanted to welcome you here. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We are a little over like 150 subscribers away from reaching 1,000 subscribers. And for every subscriber to our channel, and for anyone who subscribes between now and 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away some items, some readings. So please subscribe and you'll be entered in for that contest. And I will put some rules and everything about that in a post on our community post here on YouTube. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. If you're local, you can find out about our local events that are happening. I know right now our biggest local event that we have going on is April 20th for 420 at Relief Resources in Grandview, Missouri. We will be reading tarot cards from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I guess I don't have to say Central Standard Time if you're local. But we will be doing $20 tarot card readings all day long, and it's going to be a really fun time. So that is our event so far for April. But if you would like to follow us locally and come get an in-person reading from us, please follow us on Facebook or Instagram as we keep up with the events there. So what we're going to do today, if you haven't joined us before, is we're going to start off with Mel down here. She's going to do a little bit of a segment called Astrology Today, where she talks about the astrology that's happening for the week coming up. And then Mel and I will get back together and we discuss our favorite astrology or astrological aspect for the week. And then we round it out with a 2-card tarot card reading to get you going, to get you well lubricated for the week. With this fire happening, like we just have to make sure that we add a little voice. Everyone hates, but I mean, we really need to get humid about it. So,
yeah.
Anyway, good morning, and I'm going to turn this over to Mel Rose so she can give us an idea about what's going on next week in our astrology.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Astro Insights. You know, love is, and by love, I mean loving kindness. I mean showing that you care. I mean giving a little. Love is the lubricant of interpersonal action. Whenever things get rough, whenever things get a little heated, whenever things feel a little like frictiony, loving kindness is the water that we bring to that situation. It's the solution to the problem, to make things work together, to help people work together more easily. So love is the lubricant of social interaction and interpersonal action. All you need is lube. This past week, Venus made it home to sensual and grounded Taurus. And from that throne, she presided over the full moon in Libra, aka the pink moon, full moon. This always happens right around my birthday. And I gotta say, I really think it's a lucky full moon with the sun in Aries, emphasizing who we really think we are. The full moon in Libra tends to bring around all of my most loving and connected relationships to show me where I am truly supported. And I'm really grateful for that. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Astro Insights. I am Mel Rose, and I am so grateful to you all for being here today. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel now. Today is Sunday, April 5. It is my grandmother's birthday. Happy birthday, Marianne. Easter to much of the Western world, whether you regard this as a celebration of spring or you attribute this day to some specific god or deity, I think we can all get the message that this is the time to celebrate the phenomenon of renewal. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're watching the world come back to life. It's there in the tulips and the other blossoms, the bright green new growth in the gardens all around us. It's there in the baby bunnies and other critters around us that are being born or hatched and taking their first breaths. It's there in the mythology of at least a dozen religious or mythological characters, including the one that's best known around where I live, Jesus. For his particular story, this is the day he rises from the tomb after 3 days of being presumed dead. So, in my opinion, it's a meaningful story because of the allegory to renewal. It's proof that although everything passes away and we go through these phases of darkness and cold where we reject life and have to turn within, nothing truly dies. And if we can wait and have a little faith, we'll soon see that the sun rises earlier in the sky, sets later in the sky, and gives us more of its light each day. The warmth that makes life feel beautiful as we go about our days is returning, along with the time and energy we need to make the best of our goals. The sun is in Aries today, where it is exalted. The sun is a ball of fire, and Aries is the cardinal fire sign. The sun and Aries both favor action, which is a form of power. The moon is waning in Sagittarius today through Wednesday. We've just passed the full moon, so this whole week, the moon will be growing smaller, inviting us to reflect on what has worked for us and what didn't. Where Aries, like the sun, is like a ball of fire in motion, Sagittarius is more like fireworks. Moon in Sagittarius favors actions that educate and expand our knowledge, our sense of belonging, and our faith in humanity. So over these next few days, while the sun is in Sagittarius, I gather we'll be noticing some fiery impulsiveness. Some of it perhaps more driven by anger and or determination to make something right, and some of it's driven more by a desire to mess around and find out what we can. Saturn is in Aries now. Excuse me, Saturn is in Aries now, where it'll be for the next few years, still in the very early degrees. So we can say that we are just now, as a collective of individuals, learning to or refreshing the skill of acting according to the plan and what's practical. Every impulse you follow for the next 3 years is going to carry a message from Saturn asking you to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into and you have a specific intention for the outcome. This is going to be very important. Also today, the sun exalted in Aries squares off with Jupiter exalted in Cancer. I really get a vibe from this, like, don't work too hard, but perhaps also it also points to the civic and social engagements. We want to be careful. We want to be careful not to come out of today feeling overexposed to all of this fiery energy overhead, okay? This is the vibe for today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Warmth, light, energy, lots of stuff calling us out from our homes and into the world, inviting us to get active, to participate, and with that invitation, with that action, balance that vigorous pace of our lives with our personal needs for downtime, privacy, and rest. Aries, sun, moon, and rising people, I expect you to notice this really fiery, impulsive vibe right now, especially Leos, Cancerians as well. On Wednesday, the moon will move on into Capricorn, and the vibe of exploration, that desire to mess around and find out, comes back down to Earth, where we recall what our goals and ambitions are. We need mountains to climb and problems to solve in the real world, and we're ready to put in the work. Mars, who is really our worker, will do most of the talking for the rest of the week, which is appropriate because this planet rules the sun that is exalted in Aries. This is a signature that can allow us to be very effective if we lean into our determination and work the plan that we have made. This Wednesday, before finally wading out of the waters of Pisces, Mars will have a cooperative talk with Uranus at the end of Taurus. Perhaps we struggle to put our hands on something that we need, and we find there's an alternative source available around the end of the week or in the middle of the week. And then on Thursday, Mars moves on into Aries, which means in the coming week, Mars will meet up first with Neptune and then Saturn at the beginning of this sign. Mars in Aries with the Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron makes for a vibe that is heavy with that sense of initiative and drive and determination. Also, it's inspired creative action that seeks to solve problems. And this super intense, fiery combination will be with us at least until the 19th of this month when the sun moves on into Taurus. Then the fire vibes die down a little bit, but not very much. But expect Aries heavy energies to continue to influence us throughout the year. Actually, to paraphrase the immortal Michael Jackson, if you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. And that's right now, especially, but this year, indeed. This Friday, the moon moves on into Aquarius, which is a call to socialize and to meet up with our peers and collaborators and discuss the greater vision. Next weekend is all about the sun in Aries, moon in Aquarius. Air feeds fire, friends. Cooperation makes it happen. We have to talk, we have to gather, we have to share our resources and our ideas so that we can make bigger things happen together. And then next Sunday, Mars, which is at home in Aries, will meet up with Neptune in Aries and start a whole new conversation about how we act based on our faith and our understanding that we are all one. We can discuss that and more next week, friends. Until then, while the sun is dominating the skies, don't forget to take some shelter and rest from time to time. Unstructured downtime is important to regenerating the fuel you need to keep pushing forward with what you love. Stay hydrated, put something nutritious in your body. Don't forget to drink water. And thank you so much for being here. Now let's return to Astro Insights with Mel Rose and Jennifer Rose. We're going to talk about our favorite astrology of the week. Friends, if you haven't already gone ahead and subscribed to this channel, please do. We're so close to getting our 1,000 subscribers and being able to bring you more of this content and keeping it absolutely free while we do it.
Welcome back,
Jennifer. This is my beautiful wife, Jennifer Rose, everybody.
Hello. We like free stuff, so we like to keep giving free stuff.
Yeah. Free, make it free.
And make it free. So we are here to talk about the astrological aspect that we like or that we want to discuss that we're interested in for this week. Mm-hmm. And I usually have you start, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start today. That Thursday aspect of Mars and Aries is something that I've been reading up about in my own personal chart. And my Mars heavy, I didn't look up where Scorpio was, but I look up Scorpio and Aries in my chart for Mars placements. Is that appropriate, Mel?
Mars and Aries in your chart? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I do know that Aries is my 4th house, and I have Chiron retrograde in my 4th house, which is the wounded healer. So my expectations right now with Mars and Aries are twofold. Number one, I am learning and have been going through therapy to learn how to speak assertively as opposed to aggressively. It is something that is a childhood wound. We were often taught to be seen and not heard. But I was also had 2 different examples. Like one parent would be like, don't fight. And the next parent would be like, fight. So I feel like a lot of authority figures in our lives just didn't want to hear what we had to say. And anytime that we spoke up, probably especially as little girls in the world, that we really weren't to have any kind of opinion or anything, essay and anything. And so I think that I'm healing, I'm going back through and healing that with myself, both in, talk therapy and just thinking about who I am in the world and how I navigate conversations now. Things that I haven't said, talked about, or things that have happened to me that I didn't set a boundary with or didn't say anything about are coming back to get me and showing me that, it's better to nip it in the bud than to put it off and to do it in the moment. And I feel like with this fourth house and the Chiron and the Mars, so my Mercury is in Scorpio. So, I mean, I think these are things right now that I feel like I'm going to be talking about or writing about, or at least putting energy into the things that I'm working on. And I'm really wanting to be rooted in practicality, especially surrounding where I live and whom I live with. And literally a grounded, like right now, for an air sun sign living with 3 fire signs going through this whole situation, really, I have to learn how to navigate and just keep myself as grounded as possible. And use that energy and use that fire to push myself forward in a way that I've not done before. And I think this is also just going to kind of, I don't know. I don't know how this deals with Mars and Aries, but for me, these Mars placements are very, very important. And this is going to be like some internal healing, including like externally who I present myself in the world as, because there's all sorts of things going on right now with my big three being titillated through this astrology. But I do like this Mars aspect because I'm not, even though in the world will see me as a warrior, because I do unconventional things like that people don't think about maybe sometimes. I was not born a renegade. I was not born a warrior. I don't like to fight. I really, really don't, but I will. And if that means with words, if that means with memes, like whatever it is, like but I'm also not going to stand down to a bully. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I also am trying to become less of a bully myself because I'm recognizing that by being bullied and or trying to stab off bullies, I became one in a lot of ways myself. And then I used that to heal myself. I created a bully for myself. So my Mars and Aries is getting past that and stop doing that and healing that and moving forward in a much more loving, grounded way.
Yeah. Yes. So if you know your chart, if you like to study your chart and the chart of the people that you keep close, take a look right now at what's going on in their charts where Aries is. Jennifer's Aries is in the 4th house. And so this is where all of this initiative is coming in. The 4th house has to do with your home environment. The home environment, the family of origin that you grew up with, which I know is coming up for Jennifer a lot, but also just, the home environment that you have now as an adult has to do with this. So it's really about taking initiative. It's about establishing ways of doing things that are active and productive. And it's really about, oh my goodness, there's so much healing that's happening here. And there's so much like building of faith that's happening here. So, over the next several years, Jennifer's experience of her home environment is going to change a lot. And it's going to be really very much centered around the initiative that she takes because of that Aries vibration. For me, Aries is in the 10th house. And so this is about my public life. It's about my career. It's about my public roles, my reputation. And so, those planets that are active in Aries right now are active in my 10th house. And they're showing me some things. They're showing me, Saturn is asking the question, can you do this for the rest of your life? The thing that you're doing most of the time. And Neptune is asking the question, like, where do you want to put your faith? What do you want to do with these creative impulses that you have? My public roles as an Aries are all very much, about how I stand out to people in the world. Like it's me being myself out in the world that really allows me to succeed. So still peeling back those layers and figuring out how it is that I appear to other people and how it is that I appeal to other people so that I can continue to have a good reputation and succeed through my public roles. So, just depending on where that is in your in your chart, if you are an Aries rising, then this is really all about yourself and your personal sense of initiative. And you're going to be dealing with these vibrations, not just for the coming month, but for the coming couple of years. And that Neptune in Aries is going to be there for at least 13 years. So, you know, have fun. We're on the Aries vibration. Learn what you can about Aries. Learn about what you can about where Aries is in your chart, because it's going to give you clues as to what it is that's coming down for you right now.
Right, absolutely. And I was trying to look back through. By the way, in the chat, I posted. I'm going to show this actually here on the stream, but I posted a link to our Square site, and we have a little button there that says, I don't know if it says "Do your big three." I can't get it to load up, but it says birth chart or big three or something. Like, go and request your big three, and we can tell you what your big three are in astrology. And to get the big three, like to get your rising sign, you would have to know what time you were born. And it's no big deal if you don't know what time you were born, but if you click the link in the chat, it will take you to our site that will take you to the birth chart request, and then we can get you your big three if you'd like to know what your big three are. So I do feel like knowing my astrology helps me navigate through the week's astrology. Is kind of why we do this. And it just helps us navigate our relationships with people, especially like if we know what signs we're dealing with, especially in our home life and our work life, wherever we spend most of our time. This is why we do it. All right, so I guess it's time probably for the tarots, huh?
No, I haven't talked about mine yet.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I didn't think that you picked yours, and I thought, oh gosh, you weren't listening. But I think
I really love Mars going into Aries this week. As an Aries sun, I'm loving all these Aries vibrations. Jennifer can tell you, I've been very restless lately. I've been really active. I've really just not been able to sit around and contemplate and chat and enjoy and receive as much as I used to. I just lately have been digging in the dirt out in the yard, building walls, moving things around, trying to define the edges of our garden and stuff. And, I went out there yesterday. I thought I was going to spend an hour, and I think I spent 3 or 4 hours just pushing stuff around out there. And so my body felt really tired at the end of the day, but I also was really happy with what I got done. So, definitely with all of this stuff going on in Aries, and especially for you fire signs, especially for you Aries people, if you're feeling that restlessness, I mean, if you do what you're capable to do about it, do what you can do about it. It's a really positive thing when you feel a desire to take action. You just got to think before you leap. Aries is not very good. Aries is very impulsive vibration. So Saturn is there to sort of say, okay, yes, what's the plan? And then we can leap. But definitely, definitely, it's a leaping quickly kind of vibration. So just enjoy that desire to use your muscles and move your body and take the actions that you want to take right now. A lot of us lately have really realized what it is that we stand for, what kind of ground we want to stand on, what it is that we're willing to fight for. Mars is the warrior of the zodiac. So and I'm not talking about worrying, I'm talking about warring. I'm talking about being a fighter and knowing what it is that you stand for and what you're going to fight for, knowing what your code of honor is that you live by, friends, and sticking with it.
Right.
Okay.
I know a lot of people.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But that's Mars going into Aries. I was also going to say, I really like this vibration that comes in today. That's the sun squaring off with Jupiter. And I want to bring it up again because it's a square, but both of these planets are in really good condition. And it's Jupiter. Jupiter's in good condition and is, always trying to grow our experience. And Jupiter in Cancer has been trying to grow our experience through helping us feel more, helping us get in touch with the things that we feel, the initiative that those emotions give us. And this square vibration just tells us, that we come into the week with a little warning against doing too much, especially because it's the sun, it's your work, social, and civic life. Don't overcommit, don't overwork yourself. I just said I spent 3 hours in the yard yesterday, pushing myself almost to a physical limit. Okay, so we want to be careful with this vibration, not to overdo it, not to promise ourselves more than we can do, not to promise other people more than we can do. Maintain a steady course, especially when it comes to your work, social, and civic lives right now. And that now I'm done with my favorite astrology for the week.
Yes, I'm glad that you're giving that kind of warning, because I'm working the election polls, and that's always a very long day. It's a very long couple of days back to back. And just remember that I don't have to do extra. There's always something extra to do. My Capricorn rising can always find something to do. I don't like sitting. I feel like I'm on the clock. I don't like sitting, So that's really good information to go into the week with. Just don't overdo, don't overcommit. As we are, like moving through some things, even if we're pushing through and we're physically moving, we see we've got to go forward. It's still, we still have to take care of ourselves while we're doing that,
Yes.
especially hydration, hydrate in this fiery season.
And advice on bowling and in life from my mother, Bobby Sue: slow down and follow through. In Aries weather, we always want to be starting something, but we don't necessarily have all the follow through that we want to have. But Saturn is there saying, okay, but you have a plan and you're going to act it all the way out.
I like that. Here's to a hopeful forward cosmic bowl. Okay, so now are we ready to switch over to roses? There's roses with the roses.
To roses with the roses.
All right,
y'all.
let's get up the new screen. Yeah, the screen where the cards come to play, and then there's the shadow. Bum, bum.
Dun dun dun.
Gosh, I just looked at myself, and I look everything looks so dark. What I'm looking at does not look as dark as it does out there to y'all. Like my lighting looks a lot lighter to me than
It's really a lovely sunny day out there, folks.
All right, so here we are, 2-card tarot reading to bring your week together. Mars and Aries. I mean, we got to do Mars and Aries. So I'm going to pick the cards today. And the first card I'm going to draw will be what is it that we need to take action on? And then the second card I'll choose is just a self-care card.
Yes, I like that. Action and self-care.
So first card again will be, what is it that we can take action on right now? A very Aries starting here. The Emperor. We are our own keeper. I am a no gods, no masters kind of person. We have for me, this is almost, for me, this card is the same as the High Priestess. And I blame my Capricorn rising for that, but this card is the same one. It's really about, so understanding that you have power. Okay, the Emperor didn't get to that throne by not fighting, by not being manipulative, by not, pushing forward, by not sleeping, by not, being an ultimate warrior, right? And I think the important part here is the Emperor is done doing all of that. They're actually sitting, they're able to reflect, they're able to, maintain, keep control. Okay. But you've got to bring out your inner Emperor. And that inner Emperor is not there to fuel you with negativity. Like loving kindness, your inner child. Think about what that child needed way back in the way back. These things that we're being triggered to, I'm telling you, whatever that is, offer the kindness to that child that you wish that you would have experienced back then, because we're going to be taken back to those roots. And This may be something ancestral that we're experiencing. It may be, just being a little assertive, you know what I mean? And taking charge and moving forward.
Mhm.
I think we just need to live with our, figure out who our inner authoritarian is and have them be kinder. Take action on, like reining that person in and knowing that that person is here and not still fighting and not still proving and not still, you know,
Mhm.
trying to gain the approval of others. Like you already know who you are, you're confident in that, you've gone through that. So, a good reminder is to take action on that person that you are. And
Mhm.
maybe that you felt like you were. Like you might
Mhm.
feel like, ooh, this other part of me is awakening now. So take action on that. Do that.
Each one of us is large and in charge of ourselves. Each one of us gets to be our own emperor, our own empress, our own king or queen. And one of the things that always comes across when I see this card, which is a very Aries card, you can see the ram heads on there. It's about determination. It's about the willingness to fight. But one of the things that always comes across to me with this card is the phrase hard decisions. The emperor is the part of us that really understands what our long-term goals are for safety, for structure, for a sense of grounding and establishment in the world. And that is the part of us that makes the tough choice. That is the part of us that brings the hatchet down, okay, when it's time to cut something off, cut something loose, do something differently, say, I'm not doing this, I'm doing that. Even if it's tough, that's the choice the emperor has to make to maintain security, to establish a safe place for oneself and one's closest people, for oneself and one's community, even to be. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices. The emperor makes sacrifices. Sometimes we have to, let go of people that are not productive to our mission. We have to let go of plans, even strategies and tactics that are not productive to our mission. We have to be able to take in the information and make the decisions, in a very strategic way. So when it comes to the actions that we're taking this week, we're talking about Mars in Aries. And so nothing could be more appropriate than the Emperor card. Just think about what it is in your own life, like you are in charge of your life. So what are the choices that you're making? Are they bringing you closer to your greater goals? Are they bringing you closer to feeling like you have the authority in your life to make the decisions that you need to make to get yourself to where you need to go?
Ooh, I love that.
Work
Aries,
from your
Aries.
your sense of authority, okay? Like, when I started doing massage about 25 years ago, I didn't really have any authority in the world of massage. I didn't have any expertise. I just had what I had learned, and I had to go and do the work. And even when I didn't wanna do the work, even when it's been hard to do the work, I've made the choice to do that work. And now 25 years in, I have authority as a massage therapist, and it doesn't mean that I get to rule over people or boss people around. But what it does mean is that I have a really broad set of established knowledge that I can use to make decisions for myself, to make suggestions to what other people do, and to make my own choices as to like how I go about achieving my goals, my sense of security.
Yes. I love it. I think that's a great way to end for that card there. The Emperor has spoken.
Stand in your authority when you're taking action right now, friends. You know
Absolutely.
where your authority is. It might not be massage therapy.
Right. You know where your authority is. And for that matter, know your worth with it too.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So the next card, the final card, the doggy Walkerson is getting. We always know when it's time to wrap it up. The dog is just like ready. I left a door open so she doesn't feel so locked in, but she's just like, hello, I'm over here scratching. All right, so this last card here is about you know, self-care, right? Just
Mhm.
talking
That's a
about,
good way to take care of yourself this week.
yeah. I
Tell no lies.
love her.
We
The
got
Queen
the
of
royalty
Swords.
this week.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I kind of had an inkling about this, but the next card in the deck is Justice.
All right.
To me, the Queen of Swords and Justice goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
So this week, like, bear witness to how much you're putting in. Okay.
Mhm.
Talk to yourself about like, if you're like, so Melanie, like 4 hours of work yesterday where she meant to do an hour and a half of work, a little bit of balance would have, like, maybe 2 hours of work would have been, a little better, even though like, I saw her and I know that she was fine. She was really spent at the end. Okay. um and also, um self-care, really, this is about temperance still for me. The Queen of Swords is about, how you're, even down to how it is that you talk about certain things, like how they manifest in your life, how you keep them there even if you think that you're walking away from them. Notice how it is that you're speaking, what you're talking about, what you're spending your time on. Notice what it is that people come to you and ask you questions about, because you're the authority, you're the Queen of Swords, right? And just make sure that you have plenty of time for your own self-care. Okay. And don't hesitate to tell people, that you don't have time right now, that you really have to balance out, your time for yourself, and maybe pick another time that might be better for whatever it is that's, coming to you or being asked of you. Pick a different time that is not as busy or as, as full as it is for you right now. So just, make sure that you're keeping, oh, what is this word that I'm keep counsel with yourself, keep counsel with yourself and check in with yourself. Have I eaten? And when's the last time I've eaten? Have I gone to the bathroom? If you haven't gone pee, you probably need to drink something.
Mhm.
All sorts of things that we can ask ourselves. And, the best way to do that is to ground ourselves and ask ourselves a question, and then, move toward that answer. And that first answer should be, how is it that we're taking care of ourselves in the most basic of ways? Sleep, eat, rest, those things.
This reminds me of Quan Tracy Cherry, who died in the past year, and we miss him sorely. But we know that he's also in the air around us, influencing us with his laughter and his joy and his sensuality and his understanding of bigger things. But why that reminds me of him is that there was this quote from him that I saved for years, and it says, primarily know what you know, for believing carries doubt. And to me, that's about being honest with yourself, being truthful with yourself about what you're doing, what your situation is, what your intention is. Like, sometimes we do things and we don't have the best possible intention. We have to be really clear that our intention is not the best possible intention, and that's why it might not work out. Uh, but really, this is about being honest with yourself, and also noticing, there's a whole theme through here um, of tough decisions, of making tough choices, of telling the truth, being honest to yourself and being honest with others. That sword is the sword of truth, and using that sword sort of cuts both ways. It can be good and bad at the same time. It sort of sets you free. The truth sets you free, sure, but it also sort of exposes you. In certain ways. Now I'm thinking about the gemstones and Jesse Gemstone saying, "Oh, I was looking for that freedom that comes with telling the truth." He told the truth about some really dishonest and terrible things that he did, and so the freedom isn't there yet. There's a little bit of He has to eat some crow, you know, in the meantime, to get back to that place where we are all truthful and you know, and being exposed the way that we are when we're truthful doesn't feel too vulnerable, because we know why we're doing things. We're being honest with ourselves and we're being honest with others. That's the way to create that balance while we're still making the progress that we want to make.
And for old Jesse Gemstone, that truth that he was wanting actually literally got him shot in the butt.
Yep, she shot him in his butt meat for sure.
So
So don't get shot in the ass. Just be, you know, what's funny is the thing that he lied about was something that he should not have just even done in the first place. He should not have been engaged in it at all.
Right.
So,
No.
you know, sometimes it's about the company you're keeping and the decisions that you're making when nobody's there to really tell you differently. You know, the things that you do that are not the most honest can come back to literally bite you in the ass. You know, when it's time to be honest, and the truth always comes out.
Right. And that Queen of Swords and Justice, it's still, I want to go back to bearing witness, like even just being honest with yourself, witnessing what you're seeing and why it bothers you. I'm right now kind of watching a few people, and there are things that they do that I don't really like, and it's because I do them, and it's a direct reflection of what I look like, and it's really, oof, it's really
Mhm.
just kind of kicked me in the back of the knees a little bit thinking about it and just understanding why this is so upsetting to me and why it really bothers me, and it's really kind of pushing the envelope here. So I hope that a lot of people are getting some healing and being honest with yourselves right now. That truth, it may not seem like freedom, but it really, really is.
Yeah.
Yes. So
It has taken me about 50 years, literally 50 years, to find any kind of freedom in moderation.
mm,
You know, like as an Aries and as a person who grew up with parents who did not practice a lot of moderation, I really valued like hedonism, and I really valued like a lack of moderation for a long time. And I have had to be brought basically kicking and screaming into a more moderate way of being, where I don't do a bunch of stuff to excess all the time and then I can't figure out why my life isn't working. And so for a lot of us, it takes about 50 years. And if I were talking to my 25-year-old self right now, I would be saying this, and my 25-year-old self would be saying, that's bullshit. We don't need moderation right now. So, you know, take it the way that you want to, but all three of these cards right here say, you know, those are people who have learned to be in charge of themselves and in charge of the things around them by practicing moderation.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to quickly wrap this up because my equipment is no longer charging, and I won't be able to end the stream if I don't wrap it up really quickly. But thank you so much, Mel, for all of your insights, the astrology today, and everything that you said about the tarot. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Happy spring, happy green spring to those who enjoy the spring equinox. And I hope that this information finds you and yours doing well. If you haven't already, please subscribe and know that we are here every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you need us, you can look at us up on Facebook, Instagram, and please continue to follow us here. And we look forward to seeing you again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. But in the meantime, ground yourselves, love yourselves, practice love for yourself and everyone, and know that we're here for you, holding space for you.
Thank you for being here, everyone. Much love. We'll catch you in the next video.